Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Happy 2016. I've been going to some place every week or every other week where I have to kind of just sit still for like 2 or 2.5 hours, and you can't bend your arms, so you can't read. But fortunately, these people are nice enough to provide you with some movies. You can put some headphones on, and sometimes you get to choose the movie, and sometimes somebody else next to you gets to choose the movie, or you can bring your own stuff in. So I've been watching a lot of action movies, and some of the older action movies, and this kind of brings up this topic I wanted to talk about because it kind of reminded me of this discussion or kind of schism between different gamers and different gaming styles or different preferences. You can kind of say it's sort of old school, new school, but not really. I think it's just really just a preference style. And here it is. You're watching these movies, and so these are characters, and these guys are pretty badass when it comes right down to it. And when you play a game like D&D or something like that, one of your goals is to have a character that's kind of badass after a while. So the question is your character badass because they have abilities that make them badass, or are they badass because of their level? Now, to a certain extent, they're badass, because of their class. Fighters are going to be better at fighting, and magic users are going to be better at magic and all this kind of stuff. And you have a guy whose name is Thief or a rogue or whatever. That's kind of his shtick, is sneaking or being really clever with devices and all that sort of thing. But there's a group of gamers that I would say would be more into their character being really cool or better than the average person by far because of their abilities, because they're just better at that right out of the starting gate. Some of the newer school gamers I would say would fall into that camp, and certainly some of the newer versions of D&D and other games kind of reinforce that mindset where you have really big ability scores, really big modifiers, and you have like these nifty abilities that as a class, it seemed kind of almost overpowered or superhuman, if you will. So I watched some of these movies, and I forget the name of it, but some guy is in a group of assassins, and they all have a really fast heart rate every once in a while, so they can react really, really fast, and they can shoot the wings off flies. I think, Morgan Freeman's in the movie and everything. It was kind of neat, but that's, you're badass because of your abilities. Once you figure out how to harness this power, now you can do that. You are instantly a lot cooler than the average person and can fight quite a few people at once. Then I watched another movie, Red, I think was the name of it. And it's a Bruce Willis movie. And I think Morgan Freeman's in that one, too. But pretty much this guy's retired CIA or whatever he is. And so he has to fight a bunch of people. And, he gets some of his old, buddies, from the CIA and wars and whatnot to help fight. These people are all really badass and can fight a lot of people at once because of their level. They've been around. I like that kind of game a little bit better. I would say it's kind of more old school, if you will. For lack of a better term, but it's a different play style or a different mindset where, I want to have a guy that's a little bit more human, but, over time, if he sticks, hangs in there and lives, eventually his abilities, are going to be a lot better than the average person. He's going to be able to take on quite a few people at once as long as he's smart about it. And so that's kind of, what I took away from watching these movies. And it was fun to watch both kinds. And to an extent, it's fun to play in both types of games. I just happen to prefer a game where you become badass, for lack of a better term, because of your level, because you've kind of taken the time to do that. And maybe you accumulated magic items, maybe you accumulated some other powers or something like that, just over time, as opposed to you start out of the gate with really incredible abilities, and you're more superhero-ish. That can be kind of game can be fun, but it's not one that appeals to me for the most part. And I think a lot of times, we run into difficulties with each other as gamers because we're expecting two different things. We play with a group of people that want to have like kind of superhero-ish characters. They want to be badass because they're badass. Because I'm me, don't you understand? Because I have these special powers. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you end up playing with people like me where yeah, sure, that's great, but I really rather be badass because we've kind of adventured a lot, and now my guy is like 6th level or 10th level or whatever it is. So that's kind of what I took away from watching these movies. Both styles are enjoyable. I just happen to like being badass because of your level. I'm more of a Bruce Willis, I guess.